Today I'm gonna playing around with the test-driven development and implementing that test-driven development approach within a new architecture recently in iOS community, which is the Composable Architecture. So we are going to combine these two things. The first one is the Composable Architecture, which is the like some kind of Redux-based UI pattern that is going to be replacing the MVVM and MVP stuff. And while we are going to develop that, we are going to use the TDD technique or process. So yeah, let's go and try. So the first thing I want to do is go to the GitHub, this composable architecture, because we need their framework. So okay, let me set up correctly first here. Okay, from the top. Yeah, so we need that framework as dependency to our project. So go to their page, GitHub Pointfree.co Swift Composable Architecture, and let's go to that installation, and we can see that there's an instruction how to install this composable architecture. So we can install this from Swift Package Manager, I guess. So open the file, add package, and then copy this one. So let's try. Copy. Let's create a new extra project for now. And let's use a simple iOS application for now. And we're going to use a simple scanner like simple login page, like we have like 2 text fields and we have like 1 button for login or register or something, and there is the loading indicator that we want to show or hide. So we can do that. So the product name, let's play around with the TCA TDD or TDD TCA. TCA, cool for now. So we're gonna save here. Make sure that I am checking this source control so that I can upload it on GitHub somewhere, sometime. Okay, so we have the project set up. Let's build and see if we should have a clean project so that we are good to go. So let's build first. Okay, cool. So the next thing is we need to install that dependency, right? I believe I have copied it. So we can go to File menu and add packages. So in Xcode, you can go to your Xcode, make sure the Xcode is selected. File menu, and there is this one, add packages. And let's copy paste that URL. And Xcode will find dependencies for you. In our case is this one, I believe. So let me move this down a little bit. Add package. Okay, it is installing right now. So let us wait for this. I think I'm gonna speed up. While we're waiting for this one, I think I'm gonna explain how this TDD works. So TDD is a process. It's actually a short form of test-driven development, guys. So this is actually a process, the way how we develop a software, or as we as a software engineer or as a programmers or software developers, by writing the test first and write the production code later after that test. So if we are imagining that, then of course we are going to have a failing state, like compiler is going to telling us that, hey, this type doesn't exist yet, hey, this thing doesn't exist. And that's the goal, actually. That's the first step of the test-driven development. So the first step is make the test fail, and I'm going to show you later after this. And the second one is make the test green or pass, and the third phase is refactor. So with these 3 steps, we are doing those steps frequently, repetitively, over time until we are having a better and a perfect software in our case. So I'll show you after this. So let's go back to here, and I'm not sure where to add, but let's try this package product dependency, and we can fix this later. Okay, first we have this setup, and I'm gonna build again to make sure that my project does not generate any warning or error. For now, it is okay if it is only warning. So it's now building. I am waiting for that building. So if you want to build, then you can press Command B. Okay, so build is succeed, and we are going to frequently run the test. So we are replacing our Command R, or this button, into Command U, which is test, right? So if we press Command U right now, the test is going to be built, and if it is, I don't know, I think it's taking a little bit long time because we need to put up the simulator first, right? And here we are. Oh, I have two simulators. Clone of, I don't know why I have two. Let's delete one. So it's gonna putting up the simulator for us because we are using the iOS project. If you're using, like, for example, Apple Watch project, the Apple Watch simulator will be put up. If you are using the macOS project, and I believe none of the like iOS or watches simulator will be put up. Yeah, but let's see. So while we're waiting, so I'm gonna explain more. So that's how the three things that I mentioned to you guys earlier: make the test, fail, make the test, pass, and refactor. Make the test, fail, make the test, pass, and refactor. So these three steps will be continually repeated until we are having a perfect state. But in this case, I'm going to apply that using the TCA framework. Okay, now that it's running, we can see here there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th tab, the test is failing. So let's see what's going on. Oh, I don't know what's going on. But here we can see that we are actually executing two test target, the unit test target and the UI test target, which at the moment I don't care about this UI test target. So we can exclude that or just remove that. But in my case, I think I'm gonna, for the sake of simplicity, I think I'm gonna exclude that UI test. So let me double click on that scheme and go to here, test. There's a new target assigned here, the unit test and the UI test. So I'm gonna disable this. So you can see that it is actually disabled. So the goal is to make our command U as fast as possible in this scenario. So we don't need to execute this UI test. Okay, so it's passing. That's the example. So we can delete unused tests here. Oh, I don't know why I'm gonna delete this. Let's delete. How can I delete this? Oh yeah, I forgot. My mistake, guys. Okay, so this is the current test. We can just delete because we don't need the template right now. Move to trash. And we can create the unit test class, right? And I'm going to name this as login page or login screen, because it's in the login screen, right? Login screen reducer task. So we're going to save that on the test package or folder. Convenient file. Well, I don't need that anyway, but yeah, whatever. So we are having this file right now. So we can delete unused method again, which is the template. And this is the first type of the test-driven development, right? So we need to make the test fails. That's the goal. So we can create a test fail. Then we are forcing that test into a failing state. We can run it again. This is the first step of the test-driven development. Okay, cool. It's failing right now, which is actually pretty good. So my second step is I want to initialize this login page in its initial state, meaning that when user open the login page, the user should not have any text setting up on the text field. So the text field should be empty. The username, for example, or email should be empty, and the password text field should be empty. And I don't want to have like a loading state as true. So yeah, we can mimic that scenario. When it is initialized, then we can expect that the state is in initial state is in initial state. Okay, so guys, I recently found that they have like a different structure right now for creating the reducer part. So we're going to see how we can create that part in this example. So yeah, they have like included the state and action and also environment inside the feature, a struct here, and we need to implement this reducer protocol here. And yeah, there's a new structure basically. So we need to adopt this structure, which actually we also can find in their migrate to reducer protocol. So we can search like what is this reducer protocol here, Command Shift O, and there is a note here, migrate to reduce protocol, which is really interesting to me. And like here, this is the default, the previous implementation of how the state, action, environment, and also the reducer implemented. But now they have migrated the syntax for, I believe for the better simplicity, by including this action and environment within a struct that implements a reduce protocol. And this reduce is this reducer body here, and this dependency is, I believe, this is the environment here. Okay, so we can copy this syntax here because old syntax won't work. I've tried like a couple of minutes ago. So okay, so we can do is to adjust to this syntax, right? So how we can init this store for now. So I'm going to create a store, is the test store, and as you can see, the old test store is deprecated. So we need to use this test store here. What is the initial state? Is our feature dot reduce the state here. Our feature, for example, we will have a login screen dot state here, and what is the reducer? Is that feature login screen feature dot state, and what is the reducer? Login screen feature itself, right? Like this. So let's try to run the unit test again, and let's see. Okay, so the compiler is telling us that we don't have this login screen feature type, so we can create that. Here, let's create login screen feature type and implementing the reducer protocol, and we will have like inner state here, which at the moment we don't need anything at the moment. And what is this? We still need to add the protocol stub. Okay, So we need to create the action and body. So what we can do is just modifying from these things. So we can uncomment this. Let's delete unused extra syntax here, and let's copy and paste things around, and I believe that should do it. Okay, let's comment new again. It's missing a date because it has a date dependency here. We don't need that. So let's delete anything that is not related for our needs right now. I need to adjust here. Block and Control I. And run this again. Okay, that is really good because we are right now in a green state from the red state before, from the failing state into a success state, the green state. So this is the first things that we can do in the test-driven development. I'm gonna take the second one. So right now it's in the green state, from the red state and the green state, and it's better if we commit here. Okay, let's try to commit. We have many things here. Let's commit plugin feature can init. Okay, cool. Okay, so in this case, I'm hoping that when I try to type the text field, for example, the email text field, we are saving that email to our state, right? So we can, for example, create that action when the user type the text field. For example, the email text field change, and let's have a expectation of, what is it? Should save email state. Okay. So we have initialized our store, and then on that store we need to send an action, which is the on email text field change. And what is the action? Text. Let's say I'm presuming that the user is typing my name, Arifin. Okay. I need to adjust this one on email. So the compiler now is telling us that we don't have this action. The compiler is telling, the first one is this needs to be equitable. The state needs to be equitable, so the compiler is guiding us like right now. And the store does not have, or this feature does not have that action. So let's create that, and let's run the test again. Okay, so because of we created that action here, we need to implement that action here. So what can we do right now? Let's just hit none, and we are expecting that the state that we got is actually the email is equal to Arifin as well, my name. So let's run the test and let's see. Okay, so we don't have that email, or for example email text, right? We don't have that, so let's add that. Why not? String. So let's run this and let's see what is happening with our test. Whoops, that's failing, and that is really good because this is the good part of the test-driven development. This is the first part again, so we are meeting another loop on this TDD cycle. Now what we can do is adjusting to this logic. So this logic is expecting that my state has the email text as name Arifin after I type the text field as Arifin, as my name. So what we can do what we can do is just passing the text from that button, from that event or action into the state, right? State.email text is equal to that text that I just typed. So let's use command U. Okay, so we're in the green state again. So let's try to commit. What is it? On email text. Okay. Save text email. Okay. So we are already covered this scenario. So what are the other scenario? Before moving there, can we simplify a thing? Yeah, we can refactor. What is the refactoring part? We can move this type text into a variable because it's actually used and it meant to mirroring each other, right? So we can type it, make it as a variable. Type of text is my name, Arifin, and let's make that into a type of text. Okay, let's run the test again. Okay, it's green right now, so we can commit. Oh yeah, so for guys of you who don't know about this shortcut, yeah, we can just use Option, Command, and C for commit, or you can just search here commit. Okay, I think so. Variable, for example. Okay, so now what we can do is creating another scenario, which is typing the password text field, right? So let's type again. We can just copy here, and we can just adjust things that we need. Password on password text field change, and I want that password stored as the password here. Let's run a test, and the compiler is going to tell us that, hey, we don't have this password text. Are you sure? Yeah, and we don't have that action. So the compiler is actually guiding us to create these two things, the password text field change and the state. So let's satisfy the compiler because they are nice. We are going to do something identical here, and we need to implement that, right? One password text will change with the text, and I want to store that into the password text here. Now I don't have password text. We can just create that here with the initial value of nothing, empty string. Let's run the test again, and let's see if they can help us again. Okay, yeah, they help us again. We need to change our function name. So let's run. We are missing a new return here. So let's copy and paste, and let's run again. Okay, cool. So we are in a green state right now, right? So we can, I believe it's safe to commit here. So let's commit. Again, Command Option or Command Alt C. Text field change should save password text state. Cool. Cool, right? Okay, so another scenario that we want to cover is basically when we are trying to hit the button. We want to doing some process in the API or stuff, right? But we don't want to this application sends empty email and password. So that is why we need to handle that. So when we click the button, we check the email and password first. If it is empty, then let's say do nothing, or don't request to anything, or don't start loading or something. And that process is going to be only enabled if the email and password are not empty. So the things that we want to test is the login button. Login button pressed or tapped should not perform login, for example. So when these are empty for now, here, this is the default state is empty, right? And when the store, we send the on login button tapped here, and it should do nothing basically, or it should showing the, for example, the state dot I don't know, error message, email and password is empty or should not be empty right now. Okay, we are expecting this scenario. So when we are in a clean state and we immediately press the login button, we're expecting that it should showing an error only with that given error. Okay, so now the compiler is telling us we need to implement this on login button tapped, and this login button tap, let's first return none for now. Let's hit Command U again, and okay, so we need this error message here. For now is an empty, or it could be nil, and let's hit again. Okay, so we are not covering this scenario. When we press this login button, this text should be displayed. So what we can do is just copy. I think we can copy here as well and just paste here so that we can meet the exact scenario. Okay, cool. So when the login button tap, it should not perform login. Cool. Or I think it is better to rename that. Login button tap shows error on empty fields, right? So what we can do is we can just well, we just rename the test, but yeah, we can commit cover the scenario when the login tap should show error message. Okay, cool. Now what things we can do? Once we have this error message is displaying, and then when we change that email and password or something, I think the error message should be disappear, right? So we can mimic that scenario. I think, for example, on email text field change here, should resets error message when text field is not empty. Okay. Or when email is not empty. Cool. Now what we can do is we can again create a store. Okay, so the initial state, we can just copy here. Okay, let's modify a little bit. So the error message right now that is displaying is this one. Oops. And how about these two? Let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, so how about these two? Okay, this should be empty as well. Should be empty, and the password. Well, let's pretend that it's also empty, or maybe it's not. Yeah, let's not empty password. Okay, so then when we type something on that email, right? Let's say we are typing like A, that email should be like A, for example, right now. Then the error message should be equal to nil, right? Then, for example, if I want to add another scenario, for example, I want to delete that A into like this one only, and I put text email here. Error message should be nil as well because we don't press that button, right? And let's fix this failing syntax here. Okay, cool. We have a good setup, I think. So let's try to run again. Okay, so we have this failing test, perfect. What we need is this error message should be nil when we type a text, right? And okay, so when we has a text, that should be nil. So let's go to that implementation. Here, when we have a text, it means that it is empty. Then the state.error message should be nil. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Command U. Okay, we are in a green state right now, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna commit here, or maybe you can just copy because it has the exact same I think nature as the password button. So let's just try to copy for that password button, and let's switch on password text field change, not button, I'm sorry. And we should have not empty email here, but the password is empty. So when we change that password text field change, the password text field should be equal to A, of course, and the error message should goes away. Right. So let's run and let's see if we are actually covering this scenario or not. I believe we are not covering that scenario. That's why the test is failing. So let's make the test passing by do the same around here. If the text is empty, cool. Let's command U. Okay, so we have a green state in here. So I think it's a good time to commit what have been doing. So handle hiding error message when text is not empty. Okay, let's commit. Cool. So in TD process, we are already covering many scenarios here. So yeah, I think we can cover another scenario, for example, like showing the loading and etc. But we need some kind of dependency on that, and I think we can do that in a separate session for now. As per now, I think this is a pretty simple application, and I believe we can move this into production. So we can move this implementation here, login feature, for example, here. Okay, into our production, and we need to import important things here, of course, which is this one. Let's run it a second. We might break something, but we don't know, right? We break many things. Why is it? Because the types goes away to the production. So what we can do is we can use the testable import our project name here, so that our test can have access for that internal types. Okay, we still have green state. We can start to commit again, move types into production. Okay, so in the next video, I think I'm gonna show you how we can combine these composable architecture that we built using TCA on the I don't know, either Vue controller or in UIKit or in SwiftUI or whatever. But the point is, we are trying to prove that this logic is good enough to be able to do in the production app. So yeah, so I think that's all in this video. I hope this helped you guys, because for me, test-driven development is things that I want to personally try. I like it and I want to master it. But yeah, I think this suite of tests will be helping us, for example, in the future, or for example, if we get like a new requirement or something, so that we might not break old implementation while adding a new implementation. Yep, so I think that's all, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.